Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, this is Lee Cole. Hope y'all are doing great. I am like more excited, guys, than I'm usually excited. David, you know me. Wayne, I just met you. David knows that I am just like totally in this world. I'm totally excited about it. I live to get life-changing information into the hands of other people. David, you know I've talked about this. 10 years ago, I quit my job. When I finally figured out how to make money online, it freaking revolutionized my life. It revolutionized my family life. I'm a freaking evangelist. I'm almost obnoxious when it comes to this. And Wayne, I just met you, man. And you are like the, I mean, if we were Greeks, frankly, we would turn you into one of the gods. It would be like Apollo and Daphne. And then Wayne, you know, Apollo, the god of thunder, Daphne, whatever she was the goddess of. I don't remember all that stuff from elementary school. But then there would be Wayne, like the god of marketing online, you know, and I'm going to like take, you know, 1/10 of all the money I spend on clicks, and I'm going to send it Wayne's way, just so the god of online marketing could, you know, shine on my campaigns, man, because I'm not even going to explain to people what a boss you are, because it's you know, David, I've known, I know David really well, and he's just super trustworthy. He said, Lee, you won't believe this guy. He's awesome. So guys, I'm going to let you talk a little bit or a lot. It doesn't matter, whatever works for you. You've got this new training called Traffic Domination Labs. David's shown it to me a little bit, and tell us about it, because this is, okay, I'm going to say one more thing, then I'll shut up, because I'm excited. I can't help it. This is like freaking the thing that everybody else should be, that everybody should be buying, because it's I know myself, this is the thing that literally is going to unlock the door to the kingdom, right?
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'll start before I hand it over to Wayne. Hey guys, I'm David Cassar. For those of you who don't know me, I've managed well over $1 million in ads, and I've generated over $4 million in revenue. And when I met my business partner, Wayne, you know, we had so much in common. And one of the things that stood out was that we were both just so sick and tired of wasting. We know what it's like to be sick and tired to be wasting a fortune on ads. And we wanted to help people. And we thought, let's put together a program where we can show people how to bypass years of learning paid traffic and help them save thousands and thousands of dollars in ad spend, years of testing offers and networks, and basically just give you the best ad strategy that's proven to work today. And we've been doing this for over 10 years. And during that time, we've discovered some underground ninja strategies by running over $2 million worth of ads. And we're giving people the opportunity today to get some of the golden nuggets that we're going to uncover. So essentially, I really believe that if you're watching this video right now, you literally are in the right place at the right time. Because you've literally got the biggest opportunity ever to get success handed to you by watching us spend over, we're committed to $100,000 testing 100 different traffic sources. That's what we're going to do. And as soon as we find the winners, we're basically going to show you exactly how to copy, paste, and profit for those winners. So I'll just hand it over to Wayne.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wayne Crowe, and I met David, what was it, about a year ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About a year and 9 days now. Look, I can remember it down to the day. Look, that's how special that day was. But a year and 9 days ago, me and David met. He actually showed me one of his tools, PPC Kit, and I fell in love, not with you, David, unfortunately, but with this tool pretty much straight away. Because the time it saved me, I've done paid marketing now for 11, 12 years. The time it saved me was insane. And it was awesome to meet someone who understood the problems that advanced marketers have and give you a tool that literally saved me, I don't even know, 10, 20 hours in some cases, setting up a big campaign. And that's how we met. And the thing we had in common, like David said, was that love of paid traffic. I absolutely love paid traffic. Whenever it comes to any form of new traffic, you get this little buzz out of working it out. but understand the process of working out paid traffic is a different ball game, and a lot of people fail. They simply do not understand that process. And David came to me a little while back. I sell traffic as well in certain niches, and bought some traffic. We said, well, a lot of people struggle this, so why don't we start testing all these traffic sources? So that's what we did. And that's where Traffic Domination Labs was born. And for those guys who don't know much about me, give you a little idea. Again, I've spent, I don't know how much on AdWords. I've spent well over $1 million on AdWords. I spend well over $100,000 most month on paid traffic. I have absolutely massive email lists. And to give you an idea, there was one day, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I sent 42,000 clicks in one day from my email list. Absolutely huge. And yeah, I absolutely love paid traffic, but I love email marketing as well. Email marketing is kind of the perfect marriage that you should have. An email list to me is your biggest asset, and paid traffic just means you can explode that list as big as you want. So yeah, hopefully that introduces a little bit about me and what we've put together. I can't wait to show this to people because, like you can see, me and David, we get excited by this stuff, and we don't just kind of want to show you. We want you to dominate this stuff, and we absolutely love it.
I love this, guys. So let me just not add, but let me ask you a couple of questions, because I understand my market really, really well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand where they are. So don't take this the wrong way, guys, but you two are just like mega bosses. Okay. And not, I mean, it's like a pyramid, isn't it? I mean, you got people who are spending $100,000 a month in paid traffic right up here at the tippy top of the pyramid. And then, you know, as it goes down, you've got all these other people who really want to move up to the tippy top of the pyramid and start making not just enough money to quit the job, but enough money to actually build real wealth, right? And it's daunting. If you will remember back in the day when you were in the kindergarten of internet marketing, I mean, it is daunting. Paid traffic is daunting, right? You know, are you going to waste money? You don't have all that money to start out with. You know, I mean, it's not like you've got 100 grand sitting in the bank and you're sitting there waking up in the morning, scratching your head thinking, I wonder what I want to do with that. Do I want to buy a couple of boats, or do I want to buy some paid traffic? You know, most people aren't in that, you know, thing. So can we talk about one's entry into this world, how we can take people from working hard, being well-meaning, managing their money, into moving more in your direction via paid traffic, and how Traffic Domination Labs, because I've seen, you know, David walked me through the whole members area, I've seen everything. It's freaking phenomenal. But can we talk about someone's pathway through this whole thing, how they can move from, gee whiz, I'm actually making money now, to gee whiz, I can quit the job, to gee whiz, I'm finally building that wealth that I really need to build. So, and that's a pathway. Can we talk about that some?
Yep, sure. I think David sums it up pretty well. When me and David, we followed the same kind of path, basically, didn't we, Dave? We learned ourselves, but somehow, maybe by luck or magic, I don't know what, we use very similar processes. Okay, so what happens when you're new? You take that time to work out these kind of processes that you need to understand to make paid traffic work. And David talks about them as the 6 process. I've actually got them. Oh no, I chucked a bit of paper in the bin, but I wrote them down when me and David spoke. These 6 processes. So it might be best. We use both the same thing, but I'll let David tell you quickly about the 6 processes, because that will explain a real shortcut.
Yeah, cool. So basically, there's 6 steps to having a really successful campaign. And before you actually start building out your campaigns, the very first step is understanding who your audience actually is. And on a recent webinar, I talk about how Ryan Dice created this customer avatar worksheet. And as a beginner, it's so important for you to put yourself in the customer's shoes and really understand who you're talking to. And I know, Lee, you know a lot about this. You're a pro at copywriting. And this is like the crucial step, because if you don't get this step right, you can have the best PPC campaign in the world. You can have the best ad copy, best ads, it's all going to fail if you don't get this one first step right. And once you have that first step of really understanding who you're speaking to, it's a case of step 2 is really writing the multiple variations of the headlines and spending a few days writing out the headlines, writing out the ad copy. Even if you have to walk away from it for a few hours or a few days and come back to it, it's a very important part of the process that's going to help people communicate their offer more clearly to their target prospect. And the third step is then you've got to set up all the split testing foundation, having several landing page layouts with different colors and different headlines that you wrote in the previous step. This is crucial because you don't want to send $1,000 worth of traffic to one headline, one landing page, and then for some reason it didn't quite work out, and then in your mind you've written off this traffic source completely, when in effect it could have been really successful if you had a split tested it a little bit more. So that's the next step. That's step 3, and by doing this, it'll allow you to figure out what works and what doesn't work a lot faster, and it allows you to have more bang for your buck, because you don't want to just throw all your money at one ad variation and one landing page and one headline. Now, the next step, step 4, is all about getting your conversion tracking in place, and depending on what your goal is for your conversion tracking, because if you don't know which search term led to an actual lead or a sale, or if you don't know what display ad or native ad channel that led to a conversion, you're basically going into this blindfolded, and you may spend $1,000 on traffic and you just see one sale and you think, well, I just blew $1,000 for only one sale, when in reality that one sale could have been a really great cost per conversion based on where it came from. And that's why it's important to have all your conversion tracking in place. And once you have those 4 steps in place, that's when you actually start building your campaign. So there's a lot of groundwork, there's a lot of foundational stuff that you need to focus on. And I think what happens is for a lot of newbies out there, or people that have been trying to make this work, is that they just get impatient. You can't get impatient with this. You need to have a solid foundation to build this on. And those initial 4 steps is that solid foundation. Now, once you've built that foundation, it's about building your campaign out. And I call it the discovery to winners campaign process. And the first 2 weeks is all about discovering what works. And during this period, I advise people to be patient, have the patience to split test and gather data, and don't expect any sales or any leads and getting a profit. That's not important during the discovery phase. What is important during the discovery phase is figuring out what worked. And go, okay, well, did this search term lead to a conversion? Did this banner ad lead to a conversion? Did this traffic source lead to a conversion? And a conversion could be a lead. It doesn't necessarily need to be a sale or getting a new client or anything like that. Now, the second part is, after you've gone through this discovery process, I highly recommend that you run through it for at least 2 weeks, because some days you may get more clients on Thursday and Friday, and then other days might be less. It's important not to just run it for 24 or 48 hours. You need to run it for at least a week or 2 weeks, because there are certain patterns, and some businesses will get more leads and sales and clients on particular days of the week. And there's also certain hours of the day where you get more leads as well. So you need to be patient during this discovery process. Once you've gone through the discovery process and you figured out, okay, well, we've got a few search terms that are leading to a conversion, that's when you start to fine tune. Once you have a little bit of data, then you start to fine tune a little bit more. And then the fine tuning process can take 2 to 4 weeks of fine tuning. And at this stage, you're starting to get a return on your ad spend. Things are starting to work because you figured out what doesn't work, and you start to disable all the losers. And then you start to, increase the ad spend on the winners, and things start to go a little bit better for you. And then once you've gone through the fine tune, I'm really summarizing this. Once you've gone through the fine tuning process, that's when you start to, think about scaling. How do we scale this? Now that we've discovered what works, we've fine-tuned the ad campaigns, and now we're ready to scale. And there's two ways you can scale. The first way is to increase your ad budget, which is very simple, and a lot of people can do that. But you can only do that so much because there's only so much volume for each traffic source. And that's why it's important to diversify your traffic sources and not put all your eggs in one basket. So what I suggest is not only scaling up, but scaling out. And what I mean by that is going into targeting different audiences, different interests, different traffic sources, and just scaling out that way. Instead of trying to scale up and just trying to put more money at the top of the funnel, yes, that works, but it will only work to a certain extent. And as you're going through this process of discovery to winners, you then need to track the journey. How did this customer actually, how did they become a client? Did they find me on Instagram first, and then they Googled my brand name? Did they find me on a banner ad, and then they searched my service type? So then once you find out that journey, you have a better chance of success, because then you can increase your ad spend on those entry points, on where they actually got to know you in the first place. Because what happens is usually especially in one of my businesses, we used to do a lot of Instagram ads, and we never saw any sales from Instagram, just using this as an example. But we would see a lot of sales from Google search, people searching the brand name. But when we looked at the journey and how did they actually find us in the first place, they actually found us on Instagram, on one of my e-commerce companies. So, but Instagram wasn't showing any conversion data. So that led me to think, okay, well, we need to pump more money into Instagram, even though it's not showing any conversions, because we knew that 4 or 5 days later, people would Google the brand and they would eventually buy. And that was one of the ways we scaled, because we knew the customer journey. And then once you have all this data and you've got some winning campaigns, then I encourage people to basically split test even more. Grab your winners, grab your winning landing pages, your winning headlines, your winning traffic sources, and continue to split test them, split test the days of week, the times of day. And it really is those 6 or 7 steps, really it is now. That's the process in a nutshell. And you can apply this very same process to so many different traffic sources. The process is exactly the same. And what people don't realize is that the initial phase is getting that foundational part right. And once you've got that foundational part right, and then you can proceed with building out your campaigns and working towards getting a good return on your ad spend.
Exactly. You can see why a lot of people fail with that kind of strategy as well, because you need the data. You can see, so when people start, they need the data. That data costs money. And this is where a lot of people who are new or maybe starting their journey kind of get lost. They'd spend them $100, $500, $1,000. To us, we're collecting data at that stage.
Yeah.
We'll quite happily spend $1,000 collecting the data we need to optimize. When you don't kind of get it, you just go to kind of Google or Facebook, spend the money. Well, nothing's happened, then you stop. So that's the kind of where we come in, and we can really help with what we're putting together in Traffic Domination Labs. Well, someone called us yesterday, was it the day before, Traffic Domination Lads?
Lads, yeah.
Love that. So Wayne, let's talk about what you just said there for a minute, because David, you just said step 1, avatar. Step 2, multiple headlines. Step 3, split testing. Step 4, conversion tracking. We haven't even started yet. That's already very that's very daunting, right? I'm just being honest. It's not daunting for you guys. It's daunting for the rest of the planet. Then we build the campaigns, and we have the discovery phase, which is, Wayne, basically what you said. You drop $1,000 and you're using that to figure out stuff with, to collect data, I used to teach mathematics back in the day, but to have a statistically meaningful amount of data so that you can make real decisions based on. And then we go into fine tune and scaling. Okay, Jesus Christ, that's amazing. It's totally overwhelming. And we're now ending the interview because you just blew everybody's minds, right? So guys, thank you so much. Adios. It's Lee. I love you and all that stuff. Except there's one saving thing, and it's sitting there right over Wayne's head, Traffic Domination Lab. So guys, tell the audience how they don't, because I can see everybody is, just sitting on their beds, sucking their thumbs in a fetal position now. Tell the audience how they don't have to write all the headlines. They don't have to figure out how to do all the conversion tracking with trying out all the 42,000 different pieces of crappy software that are supposed to do this instead of the good one that only you guys know about. Tell them how they don't have to drop $1,000 off of their credit card, which is maxed out anyway, on this stuff. Tell the audience how they're going to get all of this done. They're going to be able to watch all of this happening without using their own money or time. So Traffic Domination Labs, how does your incredible product solve the problem that I'm talking about?
That's awesome. I can remember what it was like when I started. Okay, so I think back to when I was started, where maybe some people are now, and it does seem, this process seems really daunting. Now, we do teach you this process, guys. Okay, we do teach you this process for those that want to learn. But me and David sat here, and we just thought, wouldn't it be great if we could show people some shortcuts to take between us 20 plus years experience. I don't even know how much money I've spent on paid traffic now, millions, I'd guess, on paid traffic. Take that experience and put something together where we do the process for you. Okay. Not only do you sit there and you watch the whole journey. So from us putting the money into one of these 100 traffic sources, you watch the whole journey over our shoulder. Okay. So you literally get to see the way we think, the way we do things, using confidence calculators to get a statistical difference, like Lee said. We use confidence calculators and all this stuff, why we use them, the right tools to use. We show you all that. But then what we do is we don't waste our money, but we know when we start, some of the traffic sources will not work. Okay, this is something we're aware of when we go through this process. We're going to show you how to use those, and we're going to tell you not to use them in the niche you're in. But what we do is when something works, we basically say, right, this has worked. This is how we got it working. Here's everything we used. And by everything, I mean the products we use. It could be affiliate offers. We give you the landers or the sales pages. We give you the copy. We give you the creatives. We basically give everything to you. And it sounds a bit unreal when you talk about this to kind of people as well, because it really is, I don't know if it's groundbreaking or no one's done this kind of thing before, but that's because they haven't got the budgets. They haven't got the kind of skill level. It isn't just about me and David. We've both got teams of people that work for us as well. So we've got a full team supporting us to be able to put all of this together. We actually started with some traffic the other day, and straight away, 2 of them not doing too great. 1, we got sales within 3 clicks, and we'll show you the scale up process, and then we'll give it to you when you work. Now, we're not just going to do this in one niche. We're going to do this multiple niches. So whether you've got a local business, whether you're freelance and you want to get traffic to someone else's business, their dentists, solicitors, lawyers, whatever you call them in your country, doesn't matter what it is. Whether you're in e-commerce, David does e-commerce. I've done 4 or 5 million in e-commerce, so we understand those markets. I do a lot of CPA marketing, a lot of affiliate marketing. So it doesn't matter the niche. We're actually going to ask you guys the niches and the traffic sources we use next. We've got a list of 100, all verified, up to date. And that's what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to give you. We're going to give you, I'm not a great believer. I don't know about you, Lee, and I'm not a great believer always in done for you systems. But this is one we can put a weight behind, because you're going to physically see us do the whole process and understand hopefully why it works and be confident you can use it. So that is basically what Traffic Domination Labs is in a nutshell.
Well, let's do this, guys, because what we wanted to get out of this initial interview is helping people understand who you guys are. Because Wayne, buddy, you have completely flown under the radar. I didn't even recognize your name.
That's what I'm good at.
Yeah. I know. I understand. But David said, "Do you know Wayne Crowe?" And I'm saying, know an actor named Russell Crowe, but
Yeah,
no,
that's
I
my
don't.
brother.
Yeah, yeah, he's your brother. And usually when people say, "Do you know some?" Well, I know virtually everybody, and I'm like, I have no idea. So you've flown totally under the radar.
Yeah,
I can't just announce to my list, "Hey, it's so and so," because they'll say, "Well, I don't know that guy either." But so I wanted this interview to set the stage, let everybody know who you are, but especially unpack the extreme importance of what you guys, not only of your background and what you bring to the party, but the extreme importance of people actually considering buying traffic domination labs. And I know, there's, let's do this, guys. Would you be up for doing a webinar? Let's just do a webinar where we can just unpack the whole freaking thing. Now, David, you know this. Webinars with me are not sales pitches, right? I mean, we're actually delivering important stuff to people. You could look at the replays of my past webinars and learn more than most of the stuff most people buy. I mean, you really could. So, and David, Wayne, I just met you. David, I know you real well. I know where your heart is. Folks looking at this, we're going to have a freaking webinar, and it's going to freaking blow your mind. And you will learn more. Now, you'll be an idiot if you don't buy these guys' offers, especially when you see the price. That is not an invitation to raise the price, gentlemen. But just come look at the webinar. Just the free part is going to freaking blow your mind. You're going to sit here and say, "Oh my God, I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know I could go so far. Here I am just trying to make a few bucks, and the kingdom is out in front of me," right? So that's what we're going to do on the webinar, guys. So let's leave it at that. Let's just put a pin. This is a nail, actually, but let's just put a pin in where we're talking. And folks looking at this on YouTube, look right below where you're looking. There'll be a link to a webinar sign-up page. Get on that webinar. If you've already had the webinar, the replay will be there. David, you and I'll, and Wayne, we can talk about when we're going to have the webinar, but it'll be very, very soon. But let's do that. Let's just put a pin in it, and we'll head off to the webinar, and it's going to actually blow people's minds. Any last minute things that we need to talk about?
Not really, but when we do this webinar, guys, there's one thing me and David love when we train people and show people what you can do. Come on with a notepad and pen.
Yeah.
And we're looking for you to have them aha moments when things start making sense. That is what we want to do. We want something to click and you think, "I've got it." That's what we're really looking for when we do this kind of thing. So I'm really excited to put that on. Really excited.
Very cool. Very cool. So folks, David, did you need to say anything?
No, that's it really. That's it in a nutshell. I really believe if you're watching this video right now, you literally are in the right place at the right time. Because
this is too important for just a little 20-minute interview.
Yeah, definitely. Because you literally get success handed to you, and you need to jump on this webinar. And we'll teach you some really cool stuff.
Cool beans, guys. Well, Wayne, it was great to meet you. David, great to talk with you again. And folks, wherever you're looking at this, I guarantee you, just scroll down. There's either a big button or a link in YouTube. That's where you go to the webinar sign-up page. And again, if the webinar's already happened, that's where you go to look at the replay. And then you can get in on this life-changing event that these guys are talking about. Sounds great. I'm Lee Cole, and I'll talk with everyone very, very soon.